Hello everyone, this is Anne from Odulcina Scrap. I am back with the tutorial on how I did the cover of this journal. It's a cover that I've done using an Amazon envelope and it has a floating signature in it, so I can literally remove the signature and replace it with another one. So that's another way to do a journal cover. It's there's a lot of in stitch there. I've used a sewing machine as well, and I've been using one of the clusters that I've done some embroidery on it to decorate it. So let's go through a quick tutorial. Are you like me, those Amazon envelopes that are really just craft papers? They make the awesome noise that we all love. My favorite size is the one that is 12 inches by 9 1/4, kind of, because once it's folded into two, it gives the 9 by 6 journal. In centimeters, it's about 30 centimeters, like 30 and a half by 23 centimeters. Amazon ships on different sizes of envelopes. I keep them all. And what I do in, if it's a bigger size than that, I think this one is really the smallest size because I never had anything smaller than that. But if they're bigger, I just trim them and I use them. So I trim them and I re-glue them, kind of. But look at that. It folded into two, you have the 9 by 6 journal. Perfect for a letter size paper format, folded into two. So they make the noise. I just can't resist that. But they're not the best look, so I covered it. And I didn't show you the process because I didn't have it on camera. But what I've done is I glued a fabric. I glued an handmade paper inside it and I used my sewing machine to do a sewing all around. It can be just glued as well. You can end stitch it, whatever works for you. So in order to decorate, I'm gonna use that cluster. Over time, I came up with a little stash of clusters that I've done using my labels or different kits printed on fabric, and where I added some embroidery knots and little ribbon roses. So I'm gonna use them. So the big part of the cover is already done. So this will be really, really quick. But I'll put in the description below a link to how to print on fabric because I get that question really regularly, and I understand that everybody new to my channel might not have the time to go through my 3 years now of videos and tutorials, and I'll put the link on those clusters creations. It's part of a big series on how to do embroideries specifically for junk journal clusters like that, so you learn the basic that I use all the time to create my little clusters if it's something that appeals you. So now what I want to do is to kind of cover the fabric with a lace, and I'm just trying. I'm trying different option. I ended up not keeping the first option, which is all white. It would have been perfect for a wedding album or something, but I ended up wanting to keep that gorgeous lace, the white one, for another project. So I'm gonna go with this option. These are all Crafty Me Shop laces, and if you don't know her, this is Esme. She only sells through the Facebook group Crafty Me Shop. Every weekend she lists the laces, the appliques, some fabric, some vintage items as well, and you comment through the ones that you want, the amount that you want, like if you want 1 yard or 2 yard or one applique or 5 applique and that kind of stuff. And at the end of the weekend she sends you a PayPal invoice. So you need a PayPal account. You need to contact her when you join the group to give her your PayPal email address. And that's how it works. She has good prices, but she really do have vintage laces that you can't find anywhere else. So I'm just in love with her laces. She ships internationally, and for international Canada, everywhere that is not US, because she's from California, you can ask her to keep your order until you have a good amount of laces to be shipped. So in my case, I order some items pretty much every week, but she ships maybe every month. So she keeps everything aside. I pay every week with whatever I ordered, but she don't ship it right away. So when you're ready to get the shipping, at least you have all the laces together instead of paying multiple shipping for your items. So what you see me doing is I decided to do end stitches, but honestly, I could have glued the lace specifically with that border there. That would have been strong enough for the glue to hold everything together. I just love the piece that comes with doing some end stitching. So sometimes I just watch something on YouTube and I do my end stitching at the same time. Now to cover this cover, I'm gonna use those two laces. So I just make sure they are placed perfectly, and I don't want to waste any lace. So I'm gonna do an end stitching of the second lace that is layered on top of the one that has little kind of polka dots. And then you're gonna see that I'm gonna trim the lace of the polka dot to keep the trim for another project, because when you have gorgeous laces like that, you don't want to waste any of your lace. So for me, knowing that every little centimeter or even half of an inch could be a perfect decoration for a little cluster or for a little add-on to a page, you want to keep all those little bits and pieces that you have. So everything that is behind that second lace that I'm sewing right now, I'm gonna keep it. Now you look how I'm sewing. If you do some end stitching, you move behind the lace. So you do a little stitch at the top of the lace so you don't see it too much, and then you do the big length behind the lace so nobody sees the big length of the thread. Like this, you see, I move behind and I just do a little stitch there, just because we have no choice. And of course it's a junk journal cover, so we will never wash this into a sewing machine, or it doesn't need to be so robust, and we don't need to end stitch that much as long as it holds together, right? But again, that could have been glue. No problems if you prefer to use some glue. I'll just end stitch the half of the cover just to show you what I'm doing. So now that it's stitched there, I can trim the excess behind. Nobody sees, and actually it's way better because you don't see the border of the first layer of the lace through the second lace. I did all of my end stitched outside the camera because I don't think you need to see that much. And on the side like that, I've been doing just little end stitch to make sure everything holds well together. And now with a cluster already done, look how quick it goes. So this is the trim that I recover from the process. look at that. It's quite an amount. I can do a couple of things with that. So, of course, you want to recover those and keep them for another project. Look at that. Isn't it just simple? I love the mix of white and beige and soft pink like that. Now, I guess I got enough of the end stitching, and I'm using glue now to hold my cluster. So my favorite glue when I'm gluing like fabric on fabric, it's pretty much the hot glue. It goes quickly, it dries fast, and it's cheap. The Fabri-Tac or the 3-in-1 from Beacon would be my second option. So if you want to use hot glue, just make sure you do like I'm doing. You just glue little portion by little portion so you have the time to flatten the glue before it dries and that it creates a bulky part, because that hot glue dries so fast that if you're not quick enough to flatten the glue, you literally feel the glue line, or you, even if it's really thin, you would see it through your layers. So the real trick is to glue little parts by little, and you flatten really well before you glue another part. So look at that. That cover is done. I just need now to add some sort of a closure, and I've been going with a yarn like that. It's just a cotton yarn that all the edges are kind of raw. I took it from the Etsy shop Unfettered Co. I'll put the link in the description below. I love that trim. So what I did is I did one single knot here in the middle, and I end stitched it 3-4 times just to make sure it doesn't open. And I just did one knot, not two, because that would have been too bulky. So it's the end stitch that holds it all together, and you just need to do the final bow for the closure and insert like a floating signature inside this journal cover, and you're good to go. So I hope it inspired some of you. You all keep your Amazon envelopes, the ones that are paper, the craft paper, and have fun creating with those Amazon envelopes. See you soon in the next video. God bless you. Bye bye.